non-patrons aren't going to hear any of that.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Early birds and patrons. That's all who gets this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here goes then. Let's do it. Do I have everything up? I do. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Okay, Atari. Let's see your best pitch.
You're out, Rose.
The Atari video computer system is 20 cartridges with 1,300 game variations you play on your own TV set.
You can't keep me in here, Atari.
Play
You
it.
Marmaduke-Looking Morons.
The morning stream. That's the bravest thing I've ever seen a vegetable do.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to TMS. It is January 15th, 2024. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Brian Ibbott.
Hello.
Can you believe, once again, it's the 15th of a month, the middle of a new month. I don't like how time goes.
This one has kind of flown by. Like, usually I joke, oh, it's the Ides of whatever month it is. I can't believe it is already the Ides of January.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Time is not what I thought it was, and I'm not happy about it. It seems like the more busy things are, the faster it goes, and that's probably normal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'd like things to slow down just a little bit this year already. Just a little. Just slow your roll, 2024. Just a tiny, tiny bit.
Just a smidge. Just a little bit.
Yeah. I got a lot going on that I don't like, and a lot going on that I do like, and a bunch of stuff in the middle. I'd like to shift it all to things I like, and then less of what I don't like. Thank you so much. It's lovely to see you all. We had a really fun pre-show thing about Michelin Stars, and I think people will be surprised by it. So just a little note here that if you're not already in our Patreon, get in there because you get this pre-show stuff and you get way more content that way. And I just want more people to hear it.
Scorsese. Michelin Stars and Scorsese both.
That's right.
Both coming up a lot in the pre-show today.
Also, I would eat at a restaurant called Scorsese's. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, right. The steak would be good, right?
Yeah, it would. Like, what are the themed items? You'd have, like, pesci pesto.
That's right. Just ask not to be seated over by the Ray Liotta table.
Yeah, don't go there. Oh, my gosh, don't go there.
Yeah. I know he's not at it anymore. Oh, but
you'd have, what's a De Niro plate that rhymes or something?
Let's see.
You could just call it the pasta de Niro or something like that.
Pasta de Niro is pretty good. Yeah.
Something like that. Be expensive. It would be. It would be in all the menus would have at least one pasta de Niro in it. Every item because he's in everything. You'd have to do it the way he casts his movies.
Exactly. Comes with, can I substitute something for the side of pasta de Niro? Nope. Automatically comes with pasta de Niro.
Yeah. And then once in a while all you can get is pasta Decaprio, but it's less overall.
And they'll only serve it to women under 23.
I like Pacino Panini. Nice one, Max. Pacino Panini. The De Niro Euro is good.
The De Niro Euro is pretty good. Yep. Exactly.
Oh, shit. We got to make this happen. Somebody get him on the phone. He seems like he's a chill dude with all his TikToks and whatnot. Seems like he might have some fun there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Brian, it's a new show. It's a new day, and we got some things to talk about, including a thing we got from a listener about this cocaine thing, about the kid tasting the cocaine when he found a vial of it.
Yeah, kid found a jar of cocaine on a playground and decided to taste it. And
like a little psycho.
Much discussion came about of why would you find something in a jar on a playground is the first thought to taste it.
That's right. So somebody texted us, they didn't give a name, to 801-471-0462 and said the following. I know several people that when they were 8 years old, if they found a jar of powder in the playground, they would have bullied some poor kid into tasting it. Love the show, though. Yeah, we all knew kids like that, didn't we?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I probably would have been that kid.
Or paid.
Depends on,
some of them would take the money, right? Like the kid I told the story on the show before about the kid that sucked the pregnant dog's breast.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. It was for what, $5 or something?
It was $1. That's
$1, that's right.
It was a freaking dollar, dude. That guy, even back in like 1980 money, that was too little. He accepted a
Yeah.
far too small
Yeah.
fee for.
What is that? Would that be inflation rate? Really, still just $1.
It's about $1.
Still about $1.
Yeah, he'd do that for $1. We'd say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we all knew kids like that. I'm afraid. I don't know if they know kids like that anymore. Like today, if you're a group of 8-year-olds, have we progressed to the point that nobody's going to make poor Billy, taste the cocaine?
I hate to say it. We need to hear from some 8-year-olds. All the 8-year-olds who listen to this show, please write in. But you still hear about kids getting bullied and the horrible way kids treat each other sometimes in schools. I worry to say no, we probably still don't have bullying dealt with and locked down, even though Melania told us to be best.
Oh, that's right. Did everyone do that when she told us? Did we all?
No, I think it's a problem that people didn't be best.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame when a national figure says things like "don't do drugs" or
yes, right.
What was the other things? Give me another one.
Just say no was your Nancy Reagan deal.
Yeah, well, that's right. Just say no, and then rappers and their albums with their warnings, that worked for sure.
Oh, sure, for Tipper. Yeah,
that worked for Tipper Gore. Nobody like today. It's not even. It's not like it's a badge of honor to have the explicit warning on your album. It's not like when you see that, you immediately know that you're going to get some cool gangster rap. It's not like that didn't backfire completely.
Right? No, exactly. Yeah.
My gosh, that thing. All right. Also, follow up on the Ponderosa thing. Speaking of cocaine and bottles. Separate story. This is from another anonymous person. By the way, if you guys want your text to be read on the show with your name, if you want me to say your name, you need to include them in the text because I don't. Yeah. Your numbers just.
Otherwise, it just comes from the same place that those messages we're getting now that say, "Hi, Melissa. Are we still meeting for breakfast tomorrow?"
Yeah. With a number
replying, "No way."
Yeah, I'm not going to answer those things. I got one yesterday saying, "Hey, it's Bill or Fred or some name.
Yeah.
Your PayPal account has been leaked. I'm seeing it all over the internet. Send me a password quick, and I can fix this." I'm like, "How stupid?
Way, really?
How stupid are people? How stupid are scammers?" And that must work for some percentage of people, or else they wouldn't do it. It's like a low cost entry or a low cost way of scamming people that eventually someone's going to cave and go, "Oh my goodness!"
If you send it to 1,000 people and one of them likes it, then it probably ends up being worth it for them.
Yeah, because it costs them like virtually nothing to send it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is on the Ponderosa Steakhouse thing. It says, "Hello, steak and beer. My first job was as a cashier at a Ponderosa. One would come in and can just get the buffet or order off the menu." So that confirms that. They had menu items as well as let's just get the buffet. If they ordered off the menu, a side, usually a baked potato, and a salad were included. They would pay extra to eat off the rest of the buffet. I used to sing with a woman that just sold a Ponderosa and retired. Keep up the work and love the show. That last bit's great because it means nothing other than weird. She sold a Ponderosa.
I used to sing with a woman that just sold a Ponderosa and retired. I guess good money in selling your Ponderosa is what she's trying to say there.
I love that though. I don't know why that's weird. There's no context. I used to sing with a woman who just sold a Ponderosa and retired. That's an amazing line. Amazing sentence.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, that makes
sense.
But
it basically tells you that you weren't forced to do the buffet, so you could do menu if you wanted, and but then you could also order off the menu and then just pay a little bit more and then go do the buffet along with your meal. Interesting.
Yeah, right. That is interesting. Thank you for that follow-up. I just had one more thought about the cocaine bottle.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that today, if an 8-year-old found it today, maybe we're not quite there yet, but today the kid could Venmo the other kid to taste it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Or the dog boob back in the day.
Because the kids these days probably don't carry cash.
They don't have $1 in their pocket.
I used to have guaranteed cash in my wallet in case I needed to go to a payphone to call my mom because some emergency. That's it. And with no payphones, hardly any payphones anymore. Actually, there's a payphone a block away I could walk to. Crazily enough.
Does it work? Like it's a functioning?
Yeah. Well, it looks like it works. Yeah.
That's so cool now. That's like retro now. Wow.
It is totally retro. But other than that, no. Why would a kid carry cash? So yeah, he would have to Zelle or Venmo. I'll Venmo you $1 to suck that pregnant dog's teeth.
I'll do it, but I only have the Cash App. Okay.
What about Apple Pay? Do you accept Apple Pay?
Accept Apple Pay? No, I have an Android phone. Okay, well, let's do it. How about just PayPal Direct? We don't have to pay fees that way.
What about
Okay.
Messenger? Doesn't Messenger let you do it?
I'll suck the dog's boob now. That's weird.
That is weird. Yeah.
Weird. Kids today, because they all do. I know, well, I have nephews and nieces who carry phones who pay for things using mostly Venmo. They'll go, some stores just accept that straight up. So they'll just go and do Venmo purchases for their candy and their soda pop.
Right.
Or whatever it is they're into now. I don't know. Their cocaine and their bottle of cocaine. Anyway, so there's that.
Love it.
Guys, look, it's Monday. It's half-asses time. And
That's right.
Why
We have
not?
a job to do here.
Yeah, why not lay into it like, a boxer? Or who else lays into things?
You mean lean into it?
Oh, lean works as well. Lay into it's
Yeah.
more like,
Lay into it.
boy, you really laid into that. Isn't that if somebody punches you, they're laying into you, right? Or do I have that wrong?
Lay into it. Attack someone violently with words or blows. 3 use laid into them. So like, you would lay into somebody by beating the crap out of them.
Okay, so it's more of a physical, violent.
Right. Lean
thing.
into it is like how you get more effectiveness out of what you're doing. Right.
Right. Right.
Like, oh man, he really, lean into the sanding job so it gets smoother. I don't know.
So that guy really leaned into the Ponderosa
That's right. Yes.
versus laying into it, which
the
means he
singing.
fought it. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
By the way, so when Brian's on, I can show you guys this because we talked about it on Film Sack.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh, here, let me play this
I
thing.
have.
Oh, show it
Okay,
to me here. Let me see you. Oh, this is without all the stuff now. Look at that.
Yeah, I printed. So this is the Spider-Man 2099 mask, and if you look, like you can see these little hexagons so clearly how sharp this thing looks. Obviously, I still have the lenses to do. Then the frames.
And those lenses
Spider-Man
those are
2099.
posts for the lenses to fit in and lock in, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And the lenses are the way they're printed. You can see through them. They're solid looking, but they're see through. But yeah, you can see. I did have to print a new top, but
right.
I just have to do a little bit of touch-up paint, and I don't want to sand because it's all the hexagons. I'll do a little bit of sanding with like a really fine grit just to smooth it out. But fix the hole in my Spider-Man.
Look
mask.
at that. Look, you salvaged it. You salvaged it.
That's right.
That's fantastic. Nice work. Let's do this.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody, check that out. That music means only one thing and one thing only. Brian Dunaway's here. Hi, Brian. How are you?
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian.
Oh, hi, man.
Hello.
How are you guys doing on this Monday? Oh, by the way, you're a fine grit.
You're
Brian
a
Ibbott.
fine grit. Brian
You're a
Ibbott.
fine grit. Yeah.
I was going to say kiss my fine grits, but it was an older reference that none of the kids will get. Anyway, hey, Brian Dunaway, you're
Who
home.
cares what the kids get?
That's right. You're home for the bank holiday, yeah? So you're having a good time. You're chilling. Like a
I
villain.
am. Yes, I am. I am at home. I am having a good time and enjoying my robocalls. Let's see here. You can kiss
I
my
can hear it in the
butt.
background. Yeah.
Yeah, who you got?
You can kiss my butt.
Who is it? Tell us who it is. Just a
Some
number?
random robocall. It's just I hate robocall. Does anybody like robocalls?
Nobody
Anybody
likes
like really?
robocalls.
No,
It's like,
people doing them
I'm
do.
lonely. I wish some robocallers would call me.
Yeah, no, don't trust them.
Now that is a perfect use of an AI. An AI answering robocall bot, and they could let them fight it out.
Just right, exactly. Just like you pick up your phone and almost put it on a thing like a modem, like we had in the 80s, where the earpiece went in a certain spot. So you just basically have like a little device you set your phone on.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know.
Go to
that a
town,
lot.
AI.
Trying to think if I've ever picked one up. I don't think I have. I've never gotten one of those calls and then answered it.
They say not to pick them up because it does some kind of. I'm like, but
confirms.
okay.
Yeah.
It confirms, but I mean, doesn't every number have somebody attached to it? You would think. I don't know.
Not all of them. There's a lot of loose numbers out there.
But I do want to. Ooh, loose numbers. I do want to like pick it up and go. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Oh,
talk
it doesn't
to anybody.
have a friend.
That's right. And Brian doesn't have a friend. Hey, look at this. Real quick. I wanted to see. I meant to do this the other day, and so I'm glad you brought this up. I want to call my childhood teenage number that I grew up on and see if anyone answers. All right?
Okay.
So just see, because this might be one of those cases where it's a dead line. So let's just try it.
Sorry,
And what are you going to do? What are you
going
going to say if they answer? Oh, I just want to see if my old phone number's still
Oh, if they answer, I'm hanging up. So
Is Scott Johnson there?
All right, here we go. We're going to put it on speaker.
I'd ask for Scott Johnson just in case
Is my-
like some kind of weird frequency thing going on, you know?
At this
Like,
time. Please try again later.
Let's see.
Aw.
So it's dead. See, that's the thing. There's a lot of numbers in the system that just aren't being used.
Hi, is my 12-year-old self there? Can I talk to him, please?
Can I talk to him, please? I'm sorry.
Hello?
He's playing on his Intellivision. He can't come. Anyway, Dunaway, it's time.
that's intelligent vision.
I know, intelligent
Oh,
vision.
look at
I'm
that.
sure we'll have more about that
Yeah.
to say on Play Retro coming up at some point this year. But today we're talking about a different kind of contest. Brian here will explain it and tell us who might win things. Brian, take it away.
Post-haste, yes. Welcome to the Morning Half-Asses, a trivia game where I'm actually going to be giving you the answers. I'll give Scott and Brian a category and 6 possible answers, 3 of which are correct, and 3 of them, like the number of Michelin star restaurants in Salt Lake City, are non-existent. Depending on how confident they feel with the category, they can provide 1, 2, or 3 guesses, and if they get any of those guesses wrong, they get 0 points for that round. But if they get 1 right, they get a point. 2 right gets them 3 points, and 3 right gets them 5 points. We'll play 3 rounds.
right,
We'll
all
play
right.
with the most points. The most points.
The most moist points.
Yeah.
Moist points after 3 rounds. You're throwing me off, Brian. Wins the prize for their contestant. Let's see who our contestants are. Scott, you're playing for Teresa, a.k.a. Rabbit, in Phoenix, Arizona.
Ooh, I like Phoenix,
Teresa, what's up?
Arizona. Yeah, cool. I'm in.
Yes. Nice and toasty
know
warm
Teresa.
there.
Yeah.
Brian, you're going to be playing for Sean Nagel in Columbus, Ohio.
Ohio.
You know
my
Sean
favorite
Nagel.
place.
Yeah.
Ohio. Yes, I do. Ohio.
Oh, hi, and we'll talk about what those prizes are after we play the game. Let's start with question number 1. NBA stars who played their whole career with one team. So going to give you a list of 6 names. Which ones of these played their entire career with one team and one team only?
Good thing I boned up on my NBA. No, I didn't.
I would hope you would. Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, Oscar Robertson, Karl Malone, Reggie Miller, and John Havlicek.
Okay.
I only know Post Malone. I know Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
These other people are just names you made up.
They're names you've never heard of. Fake names.
Yeah.
I think I know 2 of these.
Scott has locked in.
If I get this wrong, it'll be embarrassing because this is back when I was way into basketball. And if
I picked 2 names that I've never heard of.
the third one I feel good about.
Isn't Reggie Miller like baseball?
No. He's a current coach, or is he still coaching Pacers? I don't remember.
Is there more than
so.
one Reggie Miller?
There might be.
Well, there probably are. There probably is one more than one Reggie
Yeah.
Miller. All right, both of you locked in. Both of you locked in on 2, and both of you locked in. Neither of you locked in on the same one. Kobe Bryant
nice.
played his entire time with the Lakers. You knew that one.
Oh, I thought that was the joke that he. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Karl Malone played with the Lakers as well, but also with the Utah Jazz.
Oh, shit.
John Havlicek
Oh.
only ever played with the Celtics, but
Yeah.
Oscar Robertson played with the Royals and the
Oh.
Bucks. So Reggie
I
Miller,
almost
his
went with
entire
Kobe.
time. Reggie Miller, his entire time with the Pacers. Reggie, Kobe, and John Havlicek were your 3 answers.
Crap.
Did I get any moist points for that?
You get no
You got
moist
0.
points.
Neither of you have any moist points.
All right,
You know,
this-
dry points.
This
for
is
both of you.
embarrassing because I should know that Karl Malone one. That annoys me so much. I was sure he was at Utah the entire
So
time.
you thought he was Jazz the whole time?
I thought he went from
I'm in-
LSU. He went from LSU to the Jazz, and that was. I thought that was it. I didn't know he played
You
the,
brought
the
shame.
Lakers, for hell's sakes. How do I not
You
know
brought
that?
shame on the family, Scott. You brought shame on the
I'm
family.
embarrassed.
Let's see if you guys can earn some moist points on this next question, which, as we all know, all the 3 of us are masters of language. Let's talk about language.
God.
Which of these English words originated in India? Your choices are tapir, shampoo, incense, spaghetti, juggernaut, and pariah. 3 of those words actually came to us from India. 3 of them did not.
Oh, this is a tricksy one.
It is.
I'm sure shampoo is just a made-up bullshit word.
I don't know what that is. What is shampoo? I don't
It's,
even know.
They couldn't
It's
find
like,
any real poo,
beep, beep.
so it's shampoo. Let's see.
What's this soap we put on our head? It's shampoo.
I don't know. All right, I'm doing it. I'm picking two.
Brent's locked in. Scott's locked in. You guys both locked in on incense. Just right off the bat.
Oh,
No,
I thought it said incest. Okay. Oh, never mind.
Incense, no. Shampoo is a Hindi word meaning press. Juggernaut comes to us from India. It's from the Hindu god Juggernaut. And pariah is Tamil. It means drummer.
I almost did pariah. I want to say thank you to India for giving us the word juggernaut. I love that word.
Yeah.
Juggernaut's
which is usually followed by the word bitch.
Yeah.
Right?
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Comma, bitch.
Comma, bitch.
Yeah.
Is there a comma?
It's Juggernaut, comma, bitch.
Juggernaut bitch.
Yeah.
It's not Juggernaut bitch. That would be a whole different movie. I'm the Juggernaut bitch. Oh, okay.
No, that's
okay.
Hey grandma, it's
Let's
time
eat
to
grandma.
eat. Let's eat grandma, or let's eat grandma. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey grandma, let's eat. No, that still works.
still works.
All right, let's get to number 3 here. Near and dear to my heart, of course, is Disneyland. Which of these 6 places get more annual visitors per year than Disneyland? I will tell you that Disneyland, as of the writing of this question, got 16.2 million visitors per year. Your choices are the Louvre, Niagara Falls, the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul, the Great Wall of China, Central Park, and Fisherman's Wharf. 3 of those get more annual visitors than Disneyland.
Is the Fisherman's Wharf a real place?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a real place.
It's in San Francisco.
What the hell is that?
It's great. It stinks though. It smells. I've been there a couple
Why would
times.
you
Yeah,
want to
it's
go
a-
there?
It
It's
reeks.
where you get the best clam chowder if you like
Can I
salmon.
ask what a wharf is without getting a smart ass response about Klingons?
It's not a merry man.
It's a beautiful place for
Yeah,
ships
it's
and
a-
boats and
It's a right, exactly.
Is that
It's
what
like
wharf means?
yachts
Wharf
and-
means that.
well,
shipping port kind of places and
I
and
get
stuff
what
like
it
that.
is.
Yeah.
I'm asking where the hell the word come
Well,
from. You
the-
got me all word
Oh,
confused now.
gotcha.
well, you don't spell
Did
wharf
India
on
get us that one, too?
You don't spell Star Trek wharf.
Oh, waterfront. No,
Yeah.
that's good. Waterfront. That makes sense.
Oh, is-
waterfront. Now that
That totally
Is that
makes
what wharf
sense.
means?
Is that really where it came
Okay.
from?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't think
okay.
Scott meant to say
Here-
that, but just put it together really quick.
Here are your definitions. Number 1, a pier where ships or boats are tied up and loaded or unloaded. 2, a shore or riverbank. Or 3, a platform of timber, stone, or other material to support at a margin of a harbor to navigate a stream of
I'm
boats.
pretty sure it was just some lazy ass was like, I'm tired of saying waterfront. It's over there, wharf.
Just abbreviate it to wharf. Sure.
Wharf.
Yeah, listen to this guy.
Wharf.
That's the dictionary.
Wharf.
Yeah, and then
My
Worf
favorite
says,
thing is when Scott quotes Wikipedia or some online encyclopedia for me. I love this. My favorite.
Do you like
part.
that? Yeah.
I love that.
In this case,
How
Merriam-Webster.
quickly he's able to pull up Google while he's playing this game.
Yeah, it's real hard to type the word wharf into my tab of a browser and hit enter. It's real rough.
Well, and also if you're cheating, you're doing it very poorly because you're at 0
Yeah,
points.
yeah,
Both of
yeah.
you
You're the
are.
worst. You're the worst cheater ever.
a
Let's
bad
see if this
cheater.
gets somebody some points here. Brian, you locked in on the Great Wall of China, Central Park, and Fisherman's Wharf. Scott, you also locked in the Great Wall of China, but also Niagara Falls. Let's see our answers. Oh, the Great Wall of China only
come
gets
on.
10.7 million
But there's
visitors
so
per year.
many Chinese people.
Yeah,
they
but
don't go see their own damn wall.
They don't go to their
do so.
own wall. They
go
don't
to their own-
care.
they don't go to
See,
their own
that's
wall.
why we don't need to build a wall in America. We wouldn't go visit it.
That's right.
That's right.
Lonely wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Niagara Falls, the lowest one on the list that's over 12.9, I'm sorry, 16.2 million.
I would
22
think that would
million
be-
visitors.
Yeah, that would be because it's like that's like a day trip a lot of times, right? Just
For sure,
instead of like
yeah.
Disney, which is like a 3 or 4 day trip.
Central Park gets 40 million visitors per year. Grand Bazaar
Wow.
in Istanbul, 91.3 million visitors per year to the Grand Bazaar. Grand Bazaar.
And nobody to the Fisherman's waterfront.
Well, just less than 16.2. Do I have a number? Oh, I do have a number. 8.0 million Fisherman's Wharf.
8.0 million. That's a bullshit number.
That is a bullshit number. It's really a round. It's really that round number, huh? The
I never
Louvre,
put round numbers on my taxes for that reason. Like the auditor's like, no,
Yeah, always round up.
500 even.
the
Always round
Louvre
up.
gets 9.3 million per year. Great Wall of China 10.7 million per year.
I mean, those are all hefty numbers, but still.
They're all hefty numbers. So what this means is we
No
have 0
moist
points for
points.
both of you. We go to our tiebreaker question. I am going to let Brian give the answer, and Scott will do the over/under. On average, how many tornadoes hit Texas each year? According to according to NOAA, NOAA.
All of them.
All of them. All
According
right.
to Noah.
Great.
I liked you told us what it was in case we got confused and thought it was just some guy named Noah.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
NOAH.
Floods would be NOAH.
Yeah.
Tornadoes are NOAA.
Let me pull up my Old Testament.
No
and see what
way.
Noah said. All right, Dunaway, answer him. How many?
Give me a real answer, not all of them. How many tornadoes hit Texas each year?
All of them. 202
Okay, 202
tornadoes
is
hit Texas.
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Every
Okay,
year.
Thank you. You done? All right.
Yeah.
202 is incorrect. Scott, is the correct answer higher or lower than 202?
This is by the way, this is a thing Dunaway one of my favorite things in the world is if we're playing a phone call or a clip
Yeah.
of something.
Yeah.
Anytime the person in the phone call or clip makes a point that resonates with Dunaway, he's like a hype man in the back. He'll go. He'll go.
right.
Oh yes, yes,
Indeed.
yeah,
Yes.
oh yeah.
I like what
Well,
you
the
have said
call is going
there.
on. Yes.
I like
exactly.
that. All right, so it's not that answer. I got to decide if it's higher or lower.
You have to decide if it's higher or lower.
Texas of all places.
Yeah. I will tell
It's
you
so
that
big.
it gets the most
Oh, it is the most in the
out
country.
of
gets
all
the
out of all the
moist.
states. It's the moist. It's the moist tornadoes in the state.
All right, I'm
Or
gonna
the country.
In the country. I'm gonna say then if that's the case, I'm gonna say higher. It's like
Okay.
400 or something.
The correct
It's five,
answer
Scott.
is
The answer is
just
5.
just a little bit lower, 155 per year. Yeah. Texas gets the most. Rhode Island, not surprisingly, gets the fewest number of tornadoes.
It's so
per year.
small.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
exactly.
They get less
I think
than
it's
like
just a matter of surface
Like
area,
Hawaii.
right?
Yeah, I would have thought, well, Hawaii has to have the least, right? But no,
I would have thought like
apparently,
Idaho or us or even Colorado or something. I didn't know we somehow get 1 or 2 a year or
Yeah.
something.
oh yeah, we still get a few tornadoes every year.
Oh, tornadoes love us down here in South Carolina. I was like, oh, how's
Yeah.
it going?
Yeah. And
I'm curious, actually. Tornadoes per state. Let's see.
yeah, is there
here.
like a list of
Yep. List is. Let me find the. Here we go. Tornado. It says Tornado Alley states, but this thing is.
I found the
You
list.
don't want to live in
Swing it.
Tornado Alley. It's
No,
kind of like
that's-
living on the fault. You don't
Yeah.
want to do it.
Yeah, we live on a fault.
The Weather Channel is a much better link for the Weather Channel. Alaska 0. So
No.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
Rhode Island is at 0
seems
too.
So, it seems
Try-
so weird, windy up there. That's weird.
Well,
Yeah.
windy but mountainous. Mountains break up tornadoes. That's why we don't get hardly any here.
Yeah. But Hawaii 1, Utah 3, Colorado 53 on
Whoa.
average per year.
That's a
yeah, we
jump.
get our share. Nebraska 57.
So the flatter the state,
Kansas,
the more the
96.
NATOs.
Yeah.
More NATOs. That's right.
There's a list here from 1950 until today. I'm sorry, up through 2022. Utah's only had a total of 138 tornadoes over that time.
Wow.
So really not too many. It's like an average of 1 to 2 a year or something. That's news to me though. I thought we never got them. So there was a famous one downtown in the 90s, maybe 92, 93 or something, that hit buildings like in the city, and that was just unheard of. Like that doesn't happen.
Is that famous or notorious?
It's notorious. We'll call it that.
Is it infamous or
Yeah.
famous?
Famous
there you
famous
go.
would mean more people know about it
Infamous.
outside the state. I doubt they do. So
right.
yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, Florida with 66 on average per year. South Carolina 27 on average per year. You guys get your share.
Yeah.
Way more than that.
You think
But it's weird to
feels
see,
like
like
there's
on this map,
one
it's
every
weird to
week.
see, Virginia or West Virginia, tucked in there
Mamas.
with with just 2, while all the states surrounding it have way more. It's kind of surprising.
Must be the mountains.
Must be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those damn mountains get you every time.
Every time.
Well, there you go. So who's our big winner?
So congratulations going to Brian's Sean Nagel in Columbus, Ohio. Sean, you're going to get a copy of Such Art and Hot Brass.
Ooh,
Two
great
games
games
that we tried to give away last week and we couldn't.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Teresa in Phoenix, Arizona, you're going to get a copy of Deceive on Steam. All of these courtesy of Wesley, I believe. Yes, Wesley. Thank you, Wesley.
Winners. All winners right there.
Congratulations. You're a winner.
Winners. Congratulations to both of you, and thanks for being a part of this. People at home, if you're like, hey, how do I participate in the half-asses? Sounds like it's a thing where I don't have to be there live. Well, you're right. So go to our website. It's over at frogpants.com/TMS, and there is a link to sign up for this kind of stuff, along with things like song requests and links off to the Patreon, all that kind of thing. There's nude pictures of Dunaway.
TMS. Yep.
Yeah, nude pictures of Dunaway. And those, those come with a free.
Did I send those?
Yeah, you did. A long time ago. You were drunk. Don't worry about it. Don't need to worry about it. Anyway, that'll be a real good thing. Hey, Dunaway, you'll be back Wednesday for more of this ridiculous stupidness, and I cannot wait for it. It's going to be great. Kiss our butts. Okay. He's gone now.
Okay. All right. So we can talk about him now is what you're saying.
Yeah, we can totally talk about him. It's fine. All right, we are going to now take a turn and do some serious news work.
Hard-hitting news journalism coming up right now.
That's right. That's right. Because the country, look, we're really divided now. There's a lot of journalism for pay going on.
Sure.
Here at TMS, we think it's important to bring you the real news and do it with honesty and straightforwardness. Yes. So now this. That helped me find my click. Anyway,
hey, such a great stall. Yes.
It's time for today's news, and it's brought to you by.
Have you watched Tandagasa play retro games? No? Well, now you can. Check out his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Tandagasa or Tandagosa right now. I don't even know if that's a soft or a hard O in the second half of
Good question. We've always said Tandagosa around here, but I don't actually know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Tandagosa?
He does good work over there. Go check
Ponderosa?
it out. Ponderosa, exactly. Spelled Tondagossa on Twitch, everybody. So go check it out.
Are you go for Gosa or is it on for Asa?
Yeah, let us know, will you? Yeah. And by the way, it doesn't hurt or harm for you to put in our Discord. We have a little sort of pimp yourself sort of channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I see those and go, you know what? Let's promote that. And that's why that's
there. I misunderstood what the pimp yourself topic or the forum was for. So I want to apologize for those people who thought they were getting something else from me and ended up getting something completely different.
Well, you've moved it to the right place. It's now onlyfans.com/Coverville.
That's right. It's Coverville's redlightdistrict.com.
I wonder if I can go to OnlyFans. Hold on. OnlyFans.com. Let's see if Coverville's taken.
Oh. Coverville seems like the last thing you'd find on it'd be Uncoverville would be what you'd find on OnlyFans.
Oh, page not available. Let's try Scott Johnson just for fun. Okay, someone owns that, but there's no posts. Let's try
on OnlyFans/Scott Johnson. That's great.
Now if I do Brian, we got a guy. No posts or media though.
Just under the name Brian.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now if I do /morning stream, it says nothing. Okay. Well, no one's using OnlyFans. That's what I've learned.
Yep. Here we go. Well,
here's your news for the week.
Not names that we'd know.
Yeah, not anyone we know. Here's some news you can use. Police called over ice cream cone with not enough sprinkles. This wasn't me. Okay. I didn't do this, but it feels like something.
Yeah. By the way, how come you didn't check onlyfans.com/TMS?
I didn't think of just TMS short. What comes up? Anything?
Let's see. I'm finding it. Sorry, this page is not available.
Oh, what happened? We got banned for breaking the terms of service of OnlyFans.
That's right, exactly.
Let's see here. After receiving an ice cream cone with not enough sprinkles over the weekend, there's a big comma there. A woman in Michigan decided to. Congrats to the Lions, by the way. Good Lord.
Geez, yeah, no kidding.
Good Lord, it's been a while, folks.
And the Packers, got to talk about those Packers who were, everybody had them as an under 7, like a +7, right, to beat the Cowboys. They steamrolled over the Cowboys yesterday. That was the only game I watched.
But I feel like the Cowboys are just they're never going to get that glory back, man.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dallas.
Nope. Went next door for some venison chili with the neighbors, the crazy neighbors, and watched the Packer game and cheered them on with a lovely baked apple pie cider from Angry Orchard.
Ooh, you've talked about that before. That sounds.
Yeah, it's good
I don't even
stuff.
drink, and that sounds good.
Yeah, it's yummy.
Let me ask you this:
Sure.
So is it chili with venison? Is it gamey? What's it like?
It a little gamey. The cumin definitely counteracts the normal gaminess that you get from venison.
Yeah.
It was a very hearty, had a deeper flavor, I think, than a regular regular ground beef chili.
I would try it. Sounds great.
It was fantastic. Yeah.
I had some chili with turkey.
Mrs. Crazy Neighbor says, "I don't want to think about the deer that he processed in the garage to make this venison chili."
Oh.
Because he did actually process it himself. He didn't shoot it himself. He processed it for another one of his friends who was a hunter. Brought over to Dave's garage to process it, and then gave Dave half the meat for doing it. And,
we did that with a cow once. Have you ever done that, where you split like a beast with someone?
No, I haven't.
You should. It's good. The trick is you need a good sized freezer to hold all the meat for however long you're going to freeze it.
Sure.
If you don't have that, just may as well not do it. But even like a quarter cow, we did once. In my head, I always picture, well, which quarter? Was it the hind quarter? Was it the front? It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, right,
You get
exactly. There's a big difference on the quarters, like head.
Yeah, I don't want just the head, please.
I don't want the head.
No, nobody gets the head, I don't think. But we did that once, and it was either half or quarter cow, and that thing lasted us probably a good year, and the meat was so good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not all processed and freaking preserves and all the stuff they do to normal meat for your like grocery store kind of meat. And the flavor was insane. I mean, it was a little more not gamey, but like not even oily. I don't know what the word is. Just the flavor was intense. It was really intense. Like the steaks.
Interesting.
The steaks were just like, oh my gosh. But they were great, and I would do it again if we had another opportunity. The problem is you got to have somebody who you like to split it with. Otherwise, you don't want a whole cow. I can't do a whole cow.
No, it's a lot, exactly. And the freezer space of an entire cow. You're talking about freezer space, but it's bad enough half a cow freezer space.
It's a good thing Claire's not here to yell at us for the cow that we.
Oh, of course. Yes, exactly.
She'll talk about how you can go buy a quarter of a vegan horse or something, and that's how you should eat. I don't know what she'd do. Anyway, so after receiving this ice cream cone with not enough sprinkles over the weekend, sprinklers, a woman in Michigan decided to take matters into her own hands, literally, by screaming at a store clerk and attempting to punch a friend.
Oh my God!
Trying to calm her down. So her friend's trying to calm her down, tries to punch her. It got out of hand. The unnamed woman. I think there's probably more going on here than just.
Yeah.
Where's my sprinklers? Or sprinkles. I can't stop saying sprinklers. It was a traumatic year, 2023, on the sprinkler front.
Exactly. Oh, will somebody please think about the sprinklers?
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of this, the other day,
we're never gonna get through the story, people. Just deal with it.
Yeah, just know that. But the other day, so what? Like a day before yesterday, I guess. It was really cold. Wind shears, probably in the 15-degree range, somewhere in that range, all day. Nice and cold. A little bit of snow, but mostly just really frigid, the ice on the roads and all that. Normal, fine, whatever. That same night, it's even colder at night, obviously. No sun, whatever. So it's getting cold. And then suddenly, at around 2:30 in the morning, we hear this insane sound of what sounds like water dripping and at a high rate. I'm like, the hell is that? That's bad. That can't be good.
Yeah, and you've got still some PTSD, I'm sure, from the flooding situation.
Oh, I don't know if I'll ever get over how that felt.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing that sound. Kim hears it too. We wake up.
Sure.
And we're panicked a little bit because I'm like, is that pouring into the basement? Is there a pipe busted somewhere? We're freaking out. Turns out it was just the neighbor across the way's rain gutter. And I said, but that's not right. So I pull up my phone as I'm heading toward the door to also check it for real. And it says it's 45 degrees outside.
Oh.
And I was like, hold on a minute. When I went to bed, it was
2:00
like
in the morning.
Yeah, it's like 11 degrees when I went to bed. It's all Fahrenheit, Europeans. I wake up at 2:30 and it's suddenly 45 degrees and kind of warm, like for winter standards, and it was literally just snow melting and pouring down this guy's drain.
Wow. Yeah.
So it wasn't any problem or anything, but I don't understand how weather works clearly. But something went from
getting
like
that warm on a day when it's as frigid as it was, then to warm up that much at night.
Yeah, at 2:30 in the morning. It made no sense to me. And then
Yeah,
the rest
that
of the
is-
day yesterday was kind of warm. It snowed, but wet,
Yeah.
It was weird.
Oh, that's insane.
I still don't
Wow.
get it. Now it's cold again. So it must have been some little warm front. It's just shot up from Mexico.
Just passing through.
Yeah, just passing through. Don't mind me. I'm just passing through. Dave's not here, man. Anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Her male companion tried to calm her down, but she began to hit him.
Jeez.
So the lady behind the counter called the police. The two eventually left the store, but the clerk called the police with the license plate number. They already had left the area before cops arrived, though no charges were pressed. This article says in NewYorkMagazine.com, guys, it's not even June. This is way too early in the season for this type of heat stroke-induced behavior to take over.
Jeez. This is
I agree.
Is this? Yeah, no kidding. Is this from May last year? It looks like it might be from May 2015.
Oh,
No.
really? This came up yesterday as fresh.
Yeah,
Let's see.
May 28th, 2015.
Oh, yeah. So this is the hard news that we do here. We cover... We make sure it's timely,
Right, exactly. You know what though? Amazed that we didn't talk about this in 2015. So we're really covering our bases on talking about it now because we should have talked about it.
Yeah, we're just catching up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why this got in my... Oh, this came from a listener. I blame them.
Oh, okay.
Who is it? I don't even have a name to shame. But
we need to find it because we need to blame.
Someone sent me this. You jerks.
Yeah.
Here's a little note that is... I don't know if you're a gamer, you're probably excited about this. Dunaway and I talked about it already, but I think it's interesting. If you're a fan of the old Sega Genesis, a new handheld Sega Genesis is on the way. Hyperkin, known for its solid peripherals and retro N series of Nintendo kart players, has announced a new device that will play all your Mega Drive, get used to it, cartridges. That means Genesis cartridges. But in a handheld device with a 5-inch screen and a 10-hour battery life. Basically, it's a big old wide load, kind of Steam Deck looking...
Yeah,
device.
It's like my first thought hearing about this is like, oh, well, it's one of those, like we got those miniature SNESs and miniature PlayStations and things like that. That's what I was expecting this was, but no, it's its own screen and everything.
Yeah.
It's like a Game Gear that you actually jam Genesis cartridges into.
Yeah, with a battery life that's actually decent, unlike the Game Gear, which went through AA's as fast as I went through water back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, you take your actual cartridges and plug them in here. Now, here's the cool little trick.
Including the stolen one from a Blockbuster that they're showing in this photo, by the way. The
not for
Sonic
resale.
not for resale. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. So there were two versions of that made. This is a fun note. One version for Blockbusters and Hollywood Videos. Like You're absolutely right about that. And then they were also the ones that were packed into a certain run of Genesis One sales. They had the game packed in, and they also said not for resale.
Did they all say not for resale? Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
but
fair
people
enough.
would still resell them. They would still,
Yeah,
it's
of
still the
course.
game. But anyway, here's the cool thing. You can go to Amazon and buy for like $50 a cartridge that's got like 900 games in it.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that's the way you do it. Yeah, because I still don't. There's no way I have any old Genesis cartridges left over. But if you can get one, that's cool that you can get one that's got the the whole deal on.
It's not entirely
Cool.
above board. You can still buy them on Amazon,
Sure.
but it's not exactly legal.
Sure.
But they're cool. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, a little science coming your way with Bobby Frankenberger, and that'll be after this break with a song that Brian brought.
Yeah, let's ease into the week with some cool acoustic music here. This is a guy named Tyler Ramsey. Trying to think who I was thinking of when I heard this. Maybe a little bit of maybe a little Mumford and Sons or Lumineers kind of thing. Tyler Ramsey's his forthcoming album comes out on February 9th. It's called New Lost Ages, courtesy of Soundly Music. Also, big thanks to Emily Ginsberg. What label? What PR agency? Well, thank you, Emily. I don't have it right here in front of me. Big Hassle. There it is. Big Hassle Records. One of my favorites. Or Big Hassle PR.
Have you seen your neighbor lately? Are they running a record company now?
Big Hassle. This record label, PR company.
Love it.
big thanks to for them for sending this. This is the first single from the album. It's called These Ghosts. Here is Tyler Ramsey.
All right, we're going to play it now. We'll be back in a minute. Stay tuned. This didn't work. Why? Hold on. Something's being funky.
Oh, no.
Don't worry, everyone. We'll fix it in post. Okay.
Gorsh.
There it goes.
The Sega Genesis has blast processing. Super Nintendo doesn't. So what's blast processing do? What if you don't have blast processing?
I need a computer.
All right, we return. Tell me who that was one more time.
Sure. That's Tyler Ramsey from his upcoming album, New Lost Ages. Comes out about a month from now. That's the first single. It's called These Ghosts.
Nice. Nobody wants to deal with those ghosts.
Those ghosts.
All right, let's see if Bobby can enter the fray and teach us something, you know?
Yeah.
We like science. We like learning. We're not too proud to admit sometimes we don't know everything. So when one of you comes in here and tells us something we don't know, we're happy to hear it. And Bobby's one of those guys. Let me play his little intro. Do I have it here?
Those guys.
I do have it. It's right here.
Science!
Bob is hungry, and the soup looks good.
It sure does. Bobby Frankenberger joining us as he does each and every twice a month. All the way from South Carolina to tell us about something scientific. Hello, Bobby. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's my time of the twice a month.
That's right.
It's your time of the twice a month.
My time.
Although it's been like more than a month since I've been on. So.
I know.
December is weird.
Holidays are
Very
rough.
weird time.
Yeah, I don't trust holidays to get it right. Never does. But it's nice having you on. It's funny, our alternate for Mondays, Steven Schleicher, is in the chat today, so we got all the Monday we can handle here.
Oh, look at that.
Whoa.
It's a
Too
lot.
much Monday.
We could pull you both in and have you tag team.
Yeah, it's like
perform against each other and
like
see who wins.
Manic Monday. You could go. Slap. There's too many stars to count in the universe. Slap. Hey, Spider-Man's coming for a crossover to Echo. Slap.
What?
Yeah.
Science versus science fiction.
Oh,
look at that.
We could have some fun
Monday
with that.
Thunderdome is what we got here. Yes.
We got to get Steven to come to Vegas this year.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Steven, come to Vegas. Come hang out with us. It'd be fun.
Please come to Vegas in the springtime.
Literally.
We're hanging out at the plaza. There'll be lots of room.
So Bobby spends his waking hours making content for All Around Science, and he brings some of that stuff here on the show. Bobby, what's going on this week in science?
Well, it's the beginning of the year, and at the beginning of the year, when New Year's is actually one of my favorite holidays. I love the sort of like the symbolism of renewal and like reassessing things and kind of doing all that kind of stuff. And every year I kind of try to I end up thinking a little bit about how I think about talking to people who want to talk to me about pseudoscience or talk around me about pseudoscience and things that are not true,
right? that they heard on Facebook.
Sure.
Right.
Flat
Exactly.
Earth. Or are we talking in something a little more basic than like the flat earther type stuff, like more?
So just any of it, right? And so I thought that this time of year, I did this last year, and I think maybe the year before. I like to sort of come on and in a public service announcement kind of way, but maybe less preachy, talk about like how can we think about and how can we approach the people in our lives that are talking to us about these kinds of things that we have this urge to correct, maybe, or that we have the urge to argue with people in our lives, people online, and just kind of reassess what's a good way to approach that.
I like it.
So I thought that might be a fun thing to talk about. So, as you might imagine, I wasn't always the paragon of rational scientific thought that I'm sure you think of me today.
Did you
do? Yes.
Did you used to be like a total like conspiracy theorist freak show? I would love that if that
No,
was true.
not so much into it, but I mean, I used to be a kid who was compelled by the idea that aliens have been building pyramids and and I used to think ghosts made a lot of sense, and all that kind of stuff. But it's not that way anymore. Critical thinking and scientific skepticism sort of changed my life. But when I first got into it, it made me kind of obnoxious for a while. Right?
Okay.
You know, because when you have this like new knowledge, and it goes the other way too. When you think you have new knowledge in pseudoscience, you just want to tell everyone.
Yes. Right.
And so when I've unlocked critical thinking for myself and realizing like, oh, there's a whole way to look at the world. Like I wanted to tell everyone why they were wrong. And it wasn't like because I was trying to be a jerk. I really did think that, oh, this makes perfect sense. Like this is logical way to view the world. So all I have to do is explain to people the process, and then they will also understand and change their minds. And that it just doesn't work that way. So how can we help people when it comes to pseudoscience? Because I've calmed down a lot since then.
You're pretty chill. You're one of the most chill people I know, and I can't even imagine you at a higher level of anything. So
I was quick to rouse when it came to talking about things that are true. I wanted to say that I decided to think about. I was thinking about this most recently because I read an article on Ars Technica that was written by Paul Sutter. So a lot of the ideas, or a lot of my thinking about this came from that, and it's a great article. You should go check it out. But to start, you have to sort of like define pseudoscience. What is pseudoscience? And it's hard to define pseudoscience.
Sure.
But Paul Sutter, and the reason I bring up Paul Sutter is because I when I read the article, I liked his definition of pseudoscience, which is literally, if you take apart the word pseudoscience, it's false science, right?
Sure.
But his definition is, he says, quote, pseudoscience is a practice, a mode of investigation that looks like science, but totally misses the point, right?
And this is the opposite of pseudioscience, right? We don't want...
Pseudioscience.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
Exactly.
You know, I don't want to get
science of a girl that's been on my mind all the time.
This is what I love about this. I know enough about the song to say the thing, but Brian knows so much more about those songs than I do. He knows lyrics in the stanzas and stuff that I'd never pay attention to. Yeah. I love that, actually.
You can always rely on Brian. You bring it up, and then you know he's going to take the ball.
I know it. Yeah, he'll take the ball all the way the rest of the way, get the touchdown, we win.
Whether it's funny or not remains to be seen, but at least I can grab that ball and run.
Yeah, and it's factual. Yeah. I love it. It's good.
You might not get a touchdown, but you get some yards.
I'll get some yards, exactly.
Sure.
So pseudoscience, yeah, it often has the tools of science, but it misses the point, right? Like it'll use jargon and fancy measuring devices like ghost hunters use, and it'll incorporate math, and maybe they'll have their own publications that they use. So it has all the trappings of science, but the heart of science is truly the scientific method. But the heart of science isn't the only thing you need, and that I think informs a lot of what I've been thinking about lately, which is the heart of science, the scientific method. Yes, that's important, but there's also a soul of science, so to speak, which involves scientific thinking, skepticism, which is like the idea that you need to let evidence dictate your beliefs. Humility, you have to have the humility to know that any statement, including your own, can be proven wrong. And so you have to have another part of scientific thinking, which is the openness to be able to change those opinions, right? And all these kinds of things. You have to be willing to change. You have to. There's openness and scientific rigor and all these things, right? And so, how can we then talk to someone who is bringing to us a pseudoscientific belief that they have, like flat Earth conspiracy or something like that, right? Which to us seems ridiculous, and you don't think that they should be thinking this way. But how can you change their mind? What do you think is the first thing what is usually the first thing you want to do is when you're talking to someone who has a belief like that, is to tell them that they're wrong, right?
Yeah, your first instinct is to get a little fired up. And
Yeah.
I feel like
It's probably the wrong instinct too, because that probably in some cases gives them ammunition or gives them fuel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure,
well,
right? Yeah.
Pseudoscience. One of the things about pseudoscience is that it's a very natural way of thinking about things. I think we want to fight against those people and we want to tell them they're wrong, but people usually come to pseudoscience because pseudoscience is very seductive. It's a lot of times it's providing like a counter narrative to authority, which is a lot of people have it. And also, when you get that kind of pseudoscientific information, it makes you feel good and it makes you feel special. It confirms your beliefs and it purports to provide evidence that confirm your beliefs. And we all want that. We all have that tendency to want to confirm our existing beliefs, right?
Right. Right. And there is a feeling of what do they call that? Not paint yourself in a corner. A cornered cat. That's it. You get in the corner and it's like, well, wait a minute, brr. And if you corner someone else, their tendency is to, at least in the moment, in the rush of the moment, they're going to want to defend their position, and it's really hard to convince hearts and minds when they're in that position.
Right, because people get defensive as a natural tendency.
Natural thing, yeah.
So attacking head on, you're right, doesn't work. There's actually evidence that shows that contradicting people's views rarely ever works. There's scientific evidence that shows that, or that telling someone they're wrong actually has the opposite effect sometimes.
Sure.
And there's just what I always like to say is you can't logic someone out of an opinion that they didn't probably logic themselves into in the first place. So what do you do? Okay, let's get to it. I have like a 4-step. It's maybe less formal than this, but it's like a 4-part.
It's one more than Randy usually gives us too.
Yeah, no kidding. This is a real. This is a real Tony Robbins moment here with Bobby. Let's see what you got.
Right. Speaking of pseudoscience.
Yeah, that guy loves that stuff.
But it's just a pithy way to think about it. It's shut up, listen, find common ground, and then talk about that. All right. And so the shut up part is you need to stop arguing with people and you just need to listen to them. That does a lot of things. First of all, it makes them feel it prevents making them feel shut down and making them feel small. It makes them feel listened to. If you're just being quiet and letting them do. And it also importantly preserves relationships if you don't argue with someone. And I think that in order to change people's minds about anything, you have to preserve a relationship with them. Because the people you listen to the most and the people who are most likely to change your minds are the people you care about, right? So preserving a relationship is important. So just shut up. People are way more likely to change your mind if you are someone that they like and respect, all right? The second part that I always try to do is listen. And what I mean by listen is really try to hear what they're saying, not the superficial top layer of what they're saying that that the earth is flat, but really listen to and understand the underlying reason why it is that they think and believe the thing that they think and believe, right? What is motivating them to think that way? And that's where the common ground part comes in. We probably share a lot more in common with people than we really think.
Almost 100% of the time I've found that people I vehemently disagree with on some subject or point.
Yeah.
There's always, especially if you get to know them and it's not just some rando on the internet.
Right.
It's almost always you guys have similar motivations. You just go about those motivations differently, but the motivations are the same.
Right.
Same end game.
That's a
goal.
core value of mine, and I know I've talked to you, Scott, before. I know it's a core value of yours that we have way more in common with each other, just in general, than we do the differences. Right.
Yeah. Some people don't want to admit that they do, but it's true.
Right.
And maybe that's a point of contention. another thing to argue about, but I think it's true.
So some examples of finding common ground with people that might be talking about things that you just fundamentally disagree with are like, think about, why do they believe in Bigfoot? Is it because perhaps they have this desire and want for mystery and discovery to still be alive in the world and to feed their sense of adventure? Because if that's the case, then me too. Right?
Sure.
I do too. So you can start. Why do they think vaccines are causing autism? Is it because they worry about their loved ones' health and that they wish they understand more about the chemicals that are going to their body. Well, that makes sense to me. So if you listen, you can find those things out. And if you really find common ground, why do people believe in astrology? Maybe it's because they really wish that, life is complicated and they wish that they could understand those complicated lives. Maybe they're looking for some explanation for why things just won't go their way. That makes sense to me, right?
Yeah, these are common things that everybody has.
Right.
And understanding that about your quote-unquote foe in your argument, I think goes a long way to, well, A, just sort of humanizing everybody, but B, you see where they're coming from. And that always helps.
Right.
And you see them, and you see them as more than just their opinion. You see them as a person who, all right, how did they get to this point?
Yeah.
Which is super important, right? Yeah. And then the last step is just to, once you found that common ground, just talk about that. I don't even actually, when I'm talking to people, I don't usually even address the pseudoscience at all because I don't believe that I can directly change their minds. So why even talk about it? Just talk about the thing that you have in common, redirect the conversation, and then at the very least, maybe you can actually have a conversation that you almost enjoy.
Yeah, you almost enjoy having with that person. I mean, let me throw this one at you. You tell me what you would do. All right.
Okay.
This is very happening right now kind of thing. So I haven't talked about this on the show very much, but since November, there have been 1, 2, 3, and a possible 4th diagnosis of cancer on my wife's side of her family. And this is after her sister died in October from cancer. So without having much time to grieve her loss, we're already ramping up for possibly, more bad news. In fact, it's tomorrow we find out on that possible one and the others. Some of this has been caught early, some of it hasn't. There's some frustration about why the first one wasn't, and that which brings him to my point. I'm not going to get specific about this, but we have somebody in the family who was diagnosed like 8 months ago and didn't tell anyone. And the reason they didn't tell anyone is they didn't want anyone to worry. Again, some relatable reasons as to why they didn't say anything. I understand that feeling of I don't want to be a bother. In fact, I'm terrible at this. If I need help, I don't ask for it. I never do. I'm terrible at that. If I move and no one knows it. Like I packed up all my own boxes. I never asked anyone for any help. I wreck my back. It's just the way it goes. It's how I do stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand that part of it, or I have some mutual understanding of why those emotions exist. But the other side of this is this particular person wants to do a bunch of holistic stuff and thinks they can solve it with magic powder and books and not do the only scientifically tested stuff that shows to treat or affect this kind of cancer. And it's extremely frustrating that's a thing, and having a conversation about that stuff with somebody who's a big believer that science is wrong and no one trusts doctors, when their actual life is at stake. Not only that, but others around them who didn't know about this for 8 months also could have maybe been in a genetic firing line. It's time to go get checked, maybe early. Like there's a lot of frustration around that as well, and people are mad, obviously. My approach to this would be, or what I'm trying to do from my vantage point, is I'm trying to do this common ground thing, or I'm trying to find a way to have the discussions so that we can reach a couple of ends. One, better understanding of what this means for that person, how we can better support that person, and help them understand what their best path forward is. Because right now they think their best path forward is some guy they learned about on Facebook and a book he wrote and claiming to be a doctor but isn't, and some weird powder shake that's supposedly kills cancer and all this kind of BS.
Right.
And we're at a real moment for that. And I feel like the next time there's a family gathering, it will go one way or the other. It'll either go bad. All conversations will go bad and someone's going to leave with really hurt feelings, and I hope I'm the one who can spearhead this because there's a lot of frustration around it. I would like very much to be the person that figures out the path forward for them and for everyone else in the room. So I ask you, Bobby, what would you do? in that scenario? Not that I'm not saying you're the end all be all. That's not the point. But I'm just curious what you would do given what we're talking about here.
And that is a really hard one because medical stuff is really tough because it's not benign like flat Earth, right?
Right.
It's a person that you really care about who the way you see it is very urgent, because if they're not getting the help that they really need because they're choosing to do something that's not going to work, then it feels very urgent that you need to change their mind. But it's important to always remember that if you push too hard, that you may just harden their opinion more.
The resolve,
so the first thing I would start with is, if it were me, again, like you said, I'm not an expert, but if it were me, I would just talk to the person about what they're doing and let them know that make sure to show in my actions that I care about them and I care about what they're doing, so that we can just talk about that. What do they want to talk about?
Right.
And then, maybe try to eventually over time and you may not even get to this right very quickly or even in that day because your whole effort should be in making sure that they know that you care. And then try to think like, oh man, I don't want to, this is really good. You're working on trying to figure this out and this is really hard, but I wonder if, just because I worry so much about you, I wonder if you'd be willing to, also in what you're doing, if you talk to this person that I know has helped someone else that was dealing with something similar, and just maybe if nothing else, just give it a shot, and then that maybe opens the door.
It turns out that person is a 30-year veteran oncologist who actually understands everything about cancer, survival rates, treatment plans.
But you're framing it in a way that's like, it seems like you were really working hard. You're acknowledging them, right? You're seeing that they're struggling and they're trying, showing them that you see that they're trying.
Right.
And you say, but I know someone who went through something similar, and I know that this person that they talked to, this doctor or whatever, helped them. So it would, maybe even make it seem like they're doing you a favor, because people love to feel like they're being useful, right?
Well, and you are doing, that's a really good point.
Feel better.
That's a really good point, because you are talking on her terms.
Yeah.
Oops, I just narrowed it down a little. Sorry.
Her.
Yeah. Now we know the gender of the person. But we to approach it like that sounds like we're actually saying what they're always saying, which is, well, there's this guy I heard on late night TV who sold a book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But really, what you're saying is, I've got a friend who's he really knows this stuff, because I understand, like, the fear of expertise is a weird one for me. And
well, that to me translates to the fear of authority.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that every time when it comes up. It's not expertise so much. It's just that, well, if they claim to be experts, they're part of a system of overlords that want to tell me how to live my life.
Right.
And that's a hard hump to jump,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a new phrase I'm going to use all the time.
Hard hump to jump. I love it.
That's a hard hump to jump, yo. I had to put the yo on the end.
Yeah, that'll definitely make it seem like a modern phrase.
Yeah, the kids will get it,
It's the kids, Marty.
Yeah. Anyway, but okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, when this does happen, everyone right now is kind of in a weird holding pattern, because the person who didn't tell anyone still refuses to talk to anyone about it, and everybody's just trying to scramble to figure out what they can do to help, which is ironic, because this is a person that, even if it's something minor like, oh, my shoelace is untied, she will have an opinion and will tell you about it. Like, she will want to tell everyone else how this and that and the other. And I don't mean that in a necessarily negative way. She's a great heart and wants to help everybody.
Sure.
Right,
but now it's her turn for others to help, and things have gotten weird, and we're just trying to figure it out. Anyway, I didn't mean to air all that garbage, but the point is,
no, it's good.
This is one of those situations, and sometimes it's exacerbated by serious circumstances, like these cancer diagnoses, or other things in life that are much bigger, like you said, than just some guy who's like, well, I think the Earth's flat. Why? Because I ain't never seen the globe up front, or, whatever.
Yeah, right.
You can get through those. And sorry, South, I didn't mean to do that again to you, but you know what I'm saying.
It's always that voice. Oh.
We're used to it.
So I'll say this too. I'm a huge fan of the feeling. It's some of the best dopamine you can ever have, of when you can't admit that you had it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people just straight up will never do it. But even though most of us are hesitant to do it, we won't do it at first. Sometimes we have to be chipped away at for a while, but it feels so good to just go, you know what? I had that totally wrong.
It clears, right.
Oh, it feels so good, dude. It's
Yeah.
just like, I don't know what it is. It's one of the most freeing things you can do. And we're so.
I agree, but not everybody. And I think the reason it feels good for people like you and me is that we have that as, again, sort of a part of our identity. We believe ourselves to be someone who can change our mind. And so it feels good to do something like that. But not everybody. I really think that that's kind of the minority. It's definitely not the majority of people who feel like they can change. I think people think that they can, but we tend to be entrenched. And that's everybody. Even there are opinions that you and I have that would be very hard to change, even though,
Well, here's a fun example. This happened yesterday. Carter is trying to show her friend Alicia What We Do in the Shadows. She'd never seen the movie, so she wanted to show her the movie because here in our house, that is a hallowed film. We love that movie.
Yeah.
So they're getting ready to rent it the other night and do all this stuff. And I hear Carter downstairs. Her and I are just this way with each other, but I hear her go, "Dad, you're wrong." I said, "I'm wrong about what?" I yell down. We're not seeing each other's face, by the way. She's just way downstairs. I'm upstairs. She goes, "This movie came out in 2014. I go, it absolutely did not come out in 2014. That came out in 2015. I'm 100% sure on it because that's the year Fury Road came out. I think of 3 movies that year. That, Sicario, and Fury Road are 3 of my favorite movies of the year. And she goes, "Nope, 2014, look it up." And I went, "I promise you it's 2015. And my wife's like, "You guys are going to kill me." And I said, "Well, let me look it up." And sure enough, I was right that in the States, when it finally hit theaters, 2015, but it premiered in 2014 at Sundance and made some smaller runs in other places during that year before the year ended. So we were both right about it, but we were having the hardest time coming together on that point.
Yeah.
And I realized it's a small, dumb thing, right? Big deal.
Right.
But I realized at the end of it, I'm like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid because actually, who cares? Right? What do I actually have invested in this idea?
Gained? Yeah, this is the whole Dale Carnegie thing. What have each of you gained from this?
Right. And the answer was nothing, other than we kind of had a laugh afterwards, but nothing. Gain nothing.
Yeah, that's another thing that I try to keep in mind is when I'm feeling the urge to argue with somebody is I ask myself the question, do I really need them to agree with me? You know, is that something I need? Well, if not, then why?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Am I doing this because it helps? It will help them in maybe a health situation or in a safety situation. Well, yeah. Then it's like, no, you really need to know that you shouldn't be drinking that snake oil or whatever. But if it's like no, it's not flat. It's round. Like, what's the point? What do I gain from telling them? If they stay away from the edge of the earth because they're afraid they're going to fall off, that's fine. That's just fine.
Right.
Right. Because the end result is they still won't fall off the earth.
They still won't fall off the edge of the earth. I'm not saving. It's not a safety issue.
Yeah. Right. That's true. Well, interesting. Yeah. I hope. Do you recommend like any books or people to follow that are just good at this sort of stuff?
So it's funny that you bring that up. I wasn't gonna say it, but because you just made me think of it. There is a really great book. It's called The Skeptic's Guide to the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. I think it's a podcast. You may have heard of the podcast.
I've heard of the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, but all of them wrote a book also. And Skeptics, I'm looking it up. Skeptic's Guide to the Universe book. But it's a really good book, and it's a really good primer for skeptical thinking and how to do that. They talk a little bit about being humble, but if you want a primer for that kind of thinking, then that's what I would do. But that's
okay.
My thought petered out. I apologize.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Look,
you got the point across. Yes.
Yeah. Point taken. That's all that matters. Yeah. That we took your point. Well, that's fantastic, Bobby. Tell people about All Around Science, where more of this great discussion happens each and every week.
The podcast that I do every week is called All Around Science, and we talk about science stuff, and that's what we like to talk about. It's not more complicated than that. We just recently talked about a new antibiotic that was developed, a new whole class of antibiotics that's going to help fight antibiotic resistance.
Oh,
so
that's good because that's a problem. That resistance.
Yes,
business.
it is a big problem, and if this works, then it'll open up a new avenue, a new strategy for dealing with bacterial infections. It'll be really, really cool. Do you? I know we talked for a while. Do you have time for one, like 2 minutes? To me to say something about TMS Vegas.
Of course. Go ahead. Yeah.
I vetted this with Brian first, so I'm not speaking out of turn.
That's right, exactly.
but
you are allowed to speak.
Thank you. Every year there's a board game event at TMS Vegas where we get together, and we're doing that again this year, right, Brian?
Yeah, correct. Yep. I don't know exactly which day. I think it'll be Wednesday, but don't hold me to that. We're still waiting on something from Sandollar and James and Svet. So.
Yeah.
But we are looking at 6 hours though, right, instead of 4.
Well, that's one of the announcements. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So one of the things that I was talking to Ducey. Everyone knows Ducey or has heard of Ducey. He's the big board game guy, and him and I were talking because we thought it would be really, really great to get more. People love going to the board game event, but I see a lot of like walking around, observing people playing games, and there's a whole big table of board games always there that lots of people bring, and you might see those games and think, oh, that looks interesting, but I don't know how to play it, and I don't know how to get other people to play it with me if I don't know how to play it.
Yeah.
So we came up with this idea for people to sign up for board games, express interest in games that they might want to play, and also if you have a board game that you know how to play and want other people to play with you, you can sign up to put that on a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And get other people to sign up to play it with you.
Yeah.
And so just a more organized kind of way to get people to play more games during that board game event, right?
What if the sign-ups say nothing but dungeon murder? What if it's just dungeon murder the whole way up and down? Then what are we going to do? What are we going to do then?
Yeah, well, you have to buy more copies of Dungeon Murder, apparently.
Crap. Shoot. All right. Another batch on its way. No, I'm kidding. I love this idea. It's a really great idea.
Yeah. It's something we needed because a lot of times I'd miss out on a game I really wanted to play because I was playing something else and I didn't see, oh, they've started playing that already. Shoot, I wanted to get in on that one. So I love it. I love that this is.
Well, I also like that it's kind of two-tiered, right? Because not only can we get people playing the things they're interested in, but also that extra couple of hours is going to make a giant difference.
Yeah.
Because that's after we talked, me and Ducey kept saying, man, we wish it was just a little bit longer, like maybe 2 hours longer. And so Ducey was like, but I guess we can't do anything about it. And so I said, no, I'm just going to message Brian, find out. Maybe we can't do anything about it. And then Brian made it happen. So
made it happen. So, and it'll the way it looks like it'll extend is 1 hour in each direction because I think we started at 12 and went to 4, and rather than go 12 to 6, we'll bump it back an hour, 11 to 5, and that way people still have a chance to go out and get dinner and that sort of thing before whatever the evening event is that day.
That's great.
So if you want to sign up for things and you want to see what other people are planning to do, there's only a few things on there because we haven't obviously told very many people, but you go to the TMS Vegas Discord channel that has been there for a long time, and if you go to the pins, one of the pins there that is called a TMS Vegas Master Sheet. There's a couple of things on there, but one of the tabs is game sign up and game list and wish list. If you go to the game sign up, you list a game that you want to run. So like I have on there Evolution, host is Bobby, and then you put the length and what the start time when you might want to play it and everything. And people can sign up, put their names on there. Like Nikki has agreed to play that game with me, and then if you just have a game that someone has or want to see if you've wanted to play but maybe you don't have it or something like that, you can put it on the games list. If you're going to bring a game, you can list it on there and other people can express whether they want to play and all that kind of stuff. So check it out. It's pretty self-explanatory, the sheet. So and if people have questions, let us know so we can make things more clear. This is kind of the first time we're doing this. So.
And I need to I'll do a new link because right now we've got the 2023 board game list linked over there on Viva TMS Vegas, so I'll need to get a link to the newest one.
Yeah. So over there and maybe one day, maybe sometime, I don't know how these things work, but maybe you can come up with a tiny URL or something.
Yeah.
To make it easier for people to find it rather than having to go to the Discord or something. But
Yeah,
Right.
Totally.
you should go to the
can do that.
Discord anyway.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah, it's a good place to discuss where, the frequently asked question, should I start booking my hotel now? No, wait
Every
until...
other day.
Exactly. Please wait until we have the booking code. We don't have the booking code yet, but prices look like they're going to be comparable, and maybe even in the case of the resort fees, better than the Cyber Monday deal. So, so hold off. Wait. And,
and we'll let you know.
Believe me, as soon as I get the contract, I'll sign it. Well, I'll review it, then I'll sign it, and I'll...
It's an important first step.
That's an important first step. Just make sure they haven't put anything weird in there. But I'll just say right now, I know she doesn't... I know neither of them listen, but boy, I miss Bernadette and how quick she was to get the contract to me. Anytime we made a change, boom, I had it that afternoon, a new contract. So
yeah, she was on it.
She was on it.
And also everyone bug Schleicher to come. All right. We'd like him to come to this thing.
For sure. Yeah.
You'll see Bobby there. Bobby, thanks for hanging with us. Have a fantastic rest of your week. And we'll see you next time. Bye now.
See you, Bobby.
All righty. That went great.
That was great. Yeah.
Exciting stuff. All right. We're out of here except one final thing.
Yeah.
Got another anonymous listener on the text line, 801-471-0462, who sent this in. Their headline was 3 Amigos and Northern Exposure. And I didn't know what that meant, and because I have forgotten all about most of the show, and we really are, Kim and I are enjoying the hell out of our rewatch. It's great. It says this, Scott, do yourself a favor and skip ahead to season 3, episode 15, 3 Amigos and Northern Exposure. I think it's my favorite episode. I read Call of the Wild for the first time after watching it back when it first aired. I am digging the fact that it's on Prime now. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. So I haven't jumped ahead to see what this is yet. But
what exactly the 3 Amigos?
Yeah.
How is it? It's not.
Does Steve Martin
not,
and
Martin Short and Chevy Chase make an appearance? Probably not. But
probably not, right? I can't imagine. Let's look at the synopsis. It says, Maurice and Holling venture into an Alaskan wilderness to bury a recently deceased friend. Ooh, this sounds like a fun survivory thing.
Bottle episode kind of thing, yeah.
I like those. I like where Chris and Polly Walnuts get stuck out in the woods.
Exactly, yeah.
Did you know that episode was directed by Steve Buscemi, or Buscemi?
You mentioned that, yeah.
I think I just got to say Buscemi. I can't do it.
You can't say the correct way.
It just sounds
his name is
so wrong
pronounced.
to me.
Buscemi?
It sounds so wrong.
Buscemi.
Buscemi?
Buscemi.
He's
got a semi going. Boo!
I've never said it right my whole life, and now I'm being asked to change it. It's hard.
Right now, exactly. After all this time, Buscemi. He's going to come up in my recommendal this week or next week.
Ooh, really? Something new from Stephen Buscemi?
Something newish.
All right.
Yeah.
Newish, where he's Jewish. All right, great. That'll do it for today's show. Thank you all very much. Send us those texts, those voicemails to 801-471-0462, or you can email us at themorningstream@gmail.com. If you're looking for all our essential links for the show, you can find them at frogpants.com/TMS. All right, Brian, Song Blue.
We're going to go to Jeff Smith, who wrote in, not the guy who created Bone, but a different Jeff Smith. Who would have thought that that's such a popular name? Hello, America. This is my first time writing in for a request, but this is a special occasion. January 15th this year marks for me a half century on this planet. Being a child of the 80s, I love ELO and Def Leppard, so I was wondering if you could play for me Def Leppard's cover of ELO's 10538 Overture. Thanks in advance, Jeff Smith. P.S. While I have your attention, and despite your comedy rule, please sack Superfuzz, a.k.a. Super Snooper, on Film Sack. Terrence Hill talking to a fish and Ernest Borgnine dancing on a flying bubblegum bubble sounds right in Film Sack's wheelhouse.
It does to me, too. That's an exception I would make, because even though it's meant to be a comedy film, it's from a very specific time and place, and they're just different, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we did.
No, I'd be cool with Super Fuzz. That feels like it feels like there'd be enough to poke at with that one.
Agreed. We're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what? Count on it. We'll put it on the list. We're putting it in.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Cool.
Plus, it's got Ernest Borgnine. How'd you complain about that?
Plus, it's his birthday, and now since he's that old, he gets this.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Nicely done.
They showed the trailer for Jim Cotta right before The Beekeeper. By the way, saw The Beekeeper at the theaters this last weekend, folks. And Statham, it might as well have been a Transporter film. Really, just could have been Transporter 5 or 6 or whatever number they're on. But it's good. It's exactly what you think it is. It's like an homage to 90s action films, but they go after fishing scammers and crypto bros. So it's like, ripped from today's headlines.
I'm sufficiently curious about it, given I like these Wick likes. Would you say it fits nicely in that? Is it a Wick like?
Yes, it's a Wick alike. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that somebody shot his bee and now he's mad because a bee died or something like that?
No, but you think they shot. Well, I won't say because it's a little bit of a spoiler.
All right,
but. Bombette says, "Why did they show a trailer for an old movie?" That is what Alamo Drafthouse does. The 30 minutes before a film here are weird movies, weird clips, weird video clips, weird trailers. I put a couple of them in the film sack chat, especially the Ugandan Expendables, which if you have not watched the trailer for the Ugandan Expendables, it is a treat. So
it's worth watching.
Go to the film sack chat in the Discord and watch the trailer I posted for Ugandan Expendables.
Yeah, Jim Cotta looks terrible. I've never seen it, but it looks awful. So.
Looks so perfect for film sack and so horrible. Yeah, but only available to pay to rent. Yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Def Leppard in 2006 released an album called Yeah, which was all covers, had an exclamation point, so that's why I pronounce it like that. On there, they included this cover of ELO's 10538 Overture. Here is Def Leppard covering ELO.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Who the hell is King Willie?
I ask that every day, and I've never gotten an answer. I don't get an answer.